So, first of all, how are you?
Good
Okay.
for the time being. What's going on? I'm Tom Pedinsky.
And where are you from?
Uh, well, I'm a military kid, so I'm from all over the U.S., but mainly Valley Center, California. It is something. Um, it is trying to be like a testament to like John Wayne America. Like there's a restaurant that's themed after like John Wayne and Ronald Reagan. It's really funny, um, but it's also like one of the largest like school districts for like Native American kids, and it's just this weird overlap between like old country and like actual like not. I can't. How do I explain it? It's a farm town that's like confused by itself. Yeah, it's trying to cling on to the past, but it's moving too quickly.
Gotcha. And so we've been talking about these last few days around themes of heritage, healing, and hope, leading up to America 250. And I want to start off by talking about heritage. Um, could you introduce us to the artifact that you are wearing?
Oh yeah, so my main artifact is the T-shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's this ratty skate shirt that I got in high school. But the main reason I wear it and why it's my artifact is because it was during COVID, during lockdown. My grandmother was moving to a hospital, and I was wearing this T-shirt when I got the notice that she was dying, and I didn't have time to like even like acknowledge what was going on. I was running errands with my sister, and we immediately drove as fast as we could, 20 minutes to the hospital to see her. And I was wearing this T-shirt. I remember when she died, and then after that, we were going back to her place and fixing it up for my uncle who lives there now. And I was painting a room, and I got this splotch on it, and it reminded me of like the story behind the shirt because I wasn't really in a period of my life where I was thinking a lot. I was very shut off because I mean it was during lockdown. Like I was survival mode, and being at in your own mind with your own emotions was a bit much. So when I saw the spot of paint get on my shirt right here, I was reminded of the story it had and how it's like one of the pieces that was like closest to my grandmother before she left.
And what lessons or teachings or values did she distill?
So one thing that I still hold in my life to this day is if you want something done right, you got to do it from scratch. And it was her motto when it came to cooking. And it's something that her side of the family really enjoyed. It was my maternal side. My grandmother, she is Swedish and Norwegian, and the entire family just talks about when's the next time we're going to eat together, even if we're eating. So it's like we'll be having a charcuterie board and talk about what we're cooking later in the day. And it's like, I can't wait for that food, even though we're eating already. But a big part of their culture is to like just eat and cook and just like make good food for people. And I never really got to do that with her when she was alive because I was still figuring myself out. And I've been learning to cook recently, and I've been getting pretty good. And it's because I keep that motto at heart. And when you're learning to do something from the basic step, from the very bottom to the end, you can't help but do it right.
Is there any other artifact that connects to your heritage?
So they both kind of connect to heritage, but both are also me going forward in life. The one that kind of connects more to heritage is this geranium right here. And my grandmother in her backyard used to have a bunch of geraniums, mainly scented geraniums. And I'd walk with her, and we'd like go to the garden where there's a bunch of tomatoes. I'd eat a tomato off the vine, and we'd walk past the geraniums. And she'd go, "Hey, do this," and she would rub the geranium with her fingers like this. And then you smell your fingers, and it's a scented geranium, so it smells. I mean, it's hard to describe what it smells like because nothing smells like geranium, but it's kind of like herb, I guess. It's something you can't explain, but it just reminds me of home in such a way that like brings me back to my childhood. And I also got this when I met my girlfriend recently. Uh, we got it together on a date, and it was kind of like appreciating old love in my life and moving forward with like new love and just tying those two things together.
Now that we're moving on to healing and thinking about your life, American life, since the 2020 pandemic, is there anything you wish to remember about this time, your life since then?
I think I brought it up in my art piece that's you'll see here soon enough, but it's mainly like facing your emotions, which is something we find so easy to do in American culture is to shut off our emotions. We have a very apathetic business mindset where it's like emotions aren't the centerpiece, art is not the centerpiece, it's the money you can make off of it. And they kind of do the same thing with when it comes to like family recipes or anything else like that. It's like very secretive for the sake of like IP, and I find that disgusting. And I found myself in that a lot because I couldn't face my emotions, especially when it came to grieving her. And I think I've just learned to like let them guide me in a way that like to trust my emotions because I don't know, you feel lost without them. Like you feel like nothing is happening, like time's just passing you by. But if you are able to like actually sit with them, like you find yourself like so much more of a whole person.
And could you tell us about this artifact here?
Okay, so this artifact has brought me a lot of love in my life, and especially to do with my friends. This is my grandmother's pickle recipe. Um, I'm showing it for the world. You can have it if you want. I don't believe in that kind of IP like that. This is delicious and it brings people together. And I find myself making it every month or so. And I will find my friends on campus, no matter where they are. I'll be like, I got a jar of pickles. Like, you want some pickles? Like, I got Graham's pickles. Like, and they're just the right amount of spicy and just like something that allows me to engage with my friends on like another level of like care. It's like I put so much love in these things, and it's love coming from my heritage coming down to us, and like sharing it with the people that I love.
Now we're moving on to hope and thinking about the future of America. 3 years will commemorate the 250th anniversary, and we would love for you to read the letter that you're writing to yourself or to the country about what you wish to be remembered.
So, I wrote my letter as follows to whomever holds this. You've got a cautionary letter in your hands. I'll try to keep this short since your attention span's probably eroded by now. Learn from these words and feel them to their fullest. Apathy has led to the problems that plague my mind and the world around me. I don't doubt you're all too familiar with the feeling of nothingness. Don't let it slide. I know that void can be comforting. The world can overwhelm you all too easy, and the emotions can only amplify that. But they are the only way you'll be able to dig yourself out of the ruts you find yourself in. They make you all the more conscious of the horrifying circumstances. Let them be the wind in your sails when you're finding new ways to make the world a better place. If I'm still alive, find me, and I'll help you change how we see this world. P.S. If you don't like all that metaphoric and flowery rhetoric, let's fix all the systems that are destroying us every day, starting with healthcare and housing. P.S. That was a P.S., but that's from me, Tom.
Yeah. So we're coming to the final end, and can you share the piece you decided to write for this project and just a quick naming of it and the reason why?
Okay, so I named this Grieving Oranges. It's after my grandmother and the whole process of mourning her throughout this little experiment we've been doing. And I'll start here. After her death, I slipped into a mindset that the hospital shared, filling myself with drugs so I could continue living in the apathetic hole I had dug. Anytime I tried to step out of it for even a moment, I could feel that mourning, my breath shortening and time quickening. I'd feel the weight of guilt from never being able to say goodbye, drowning my heart, and the shame of avoiding it, squeezing an irregular beat on it. So I stayed in that hole. I never feared death. People claim it comes too fast for them. But at times I felt like it missed its mark on me. I fear becoming those molding oranges thrown along the wayside, rotting because they'd lived too long. I planned on dying before that year. That way my impact would never become tainted. Before my positivity festered into a negative pool that I began to suffocate in. I used to wish it would take me so I could have been one of the good ones who died early. I feared I missed my exit, and I feared that all I did was puff up smoke, polluting my surrounding with my temperament. I was blinded by my classically American and apathetic mindset. I never respected death because I never let myself feel what it felt like to lose someone. It was until a friend of mine dragged me out of my hometown on an impromptu road trip nearly a year later that I was finally faced with my grief. When I realized how my family was robbed of a funeral, how I neglected including my family in my life, how staying in one place allowed me to run from my problems. It wasn't until, like that day when I was 10, I journeyed into the unknown, that I could continue to venture even without her at my back. On the road back through the Rockies, where I was reminded of the beauty of the countryside, I broke my apathetic dam and cried for the first time since her death. In my recent interpretations, I realized how much I sabotaged myself by shutting myself out of my own emotions. In my continuing grief, I'm brought back to a quote from a video game that went something like, "To have grieved deeply is to have loved fully." In ignoring grief, I had neglected to respect my love for her. I look back to that memory now and I think of that molding orange again. I think of the fear of being that failure, but I've been looking at it without love and without grief. I'm not the orange. I'm a mold growing from the sweetness of those who came before me. She gave me the ability to give. While I may not be that sweet, while I may not be pure positivity anymore, I acknowledge my nature, and because of what I have been entrusted with, I will create the soil for so much more sweetness to thrive in this world.